Are you ready?
Yeah.
In an interview with ABC 10 News, you told reporters you were born ready to be mayor. Can you tell readers more about how growing up in Stockton has inspired you to head down the pathway of success?
Absolutely. Well, I wouldn't be running for office in Stockton if I wasn't from Stockton. And I think being born in poverty, single parenthood, with violence and crime all around, it really gave me sort of a lived experience. I was able to put in conversation at Stanford with policy. But I would say oftentimes people think of that as just wholly negative. And while it was difficult, a lot of the lessons learned about community, about family, about love, but also about resilience and strength, really helped motivate the work I do today.
Okay. If you had to describe what growing up in Stockton was like in a few words, what would they be?
The good, the bad, and the ugly. The good was really some of my best friends are people who are very active in the campaigns now. The people who did the music and the videography I grew up in church with since I was literally 7 years old. A lot of my friends from middle school and high school knock on doors and post signs. My old history teacher was here, right? So I think Stockton, the community and the people I met really helped ground me. And the bad and the ugly, I mean, just from being from Stockton, it's not the easiest place to grow up, especially in certain neighborhoods. So but that wasn't even wholly negative as well, because just learning about how to be resilient, how to avoid pitfalls, but then also understanding why some people do make bad choices and don't achieve the same success, and having kind of empathy and the compassion to really figure out how do we create systems for everyone so everyone can reach their full potential.
What is some advice that you would give to the Stockton youth that may be feeling discouraged about aiming high because of their background?
So my favorite poem is by Tupac Shakur. It's called The Rose That Grew from Concrete. And it goes, have you heard of the rose that grew from the crack in the concrete, proving nature's laws wrong, and learned to walk without having feet? Funny it seems, by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from the crack in the concrete when no one else cared. And that poem really speaks to what it takes to kind of grow and thrive in underserved communities. So for youth that are discouraged or depressed or just don't think they can make it, I just tell them that, number one, it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say I can do it, you can do it too, because that's partly true. But the truth is that it takes a lot of work. It's difficult, it's sacrificial, and it's not necessarily fair, but it's possible, right? And it's still a choice that can be made.
What is the most impactful moment you had as a city council member?
The most impactful moment I had as a city council member was when I was reading in Sierra Vista Homes, and when my summer literacy program I started, and the kids wrote me letters, and they're 6 years old, and they wrote 20 pages worth of letters saying, Mr. Tubbs, I want to live in a community with no violence, essentially. And they drew pictures of people being shot and dying. These were 6-year-old kids. And that was really impactful because, like, wow, these 6-year-olds are really internalizing. Because oftentimes when you're in meetings about crime and violence, it becomes almost not human. It's like it's a number. But seeing these 6-year-olds say, I want to be a safe community, a community with books, a community with no trash, it was like, wow, these children are really processing what our community looks like and what are we doing to kind of change what they see so that they're able to really dream and actualize their best selves.
Do you think that your age has influenced your focuses as a city council member?
Yes, yes, some of them. I'm really passionate about youth and opportunities for youth, partly because a lot of the leadership training I got really young as a young person. So it's things like the Youth Advisory Commission, the Youth Leadership Academy that exposed me to city government. And also I think people don't know this, but the average age in our county is 27 years old, and the average age of our city is 30. Or the median age of the city is 30. So we're a pretty young city, and we have to really think about some of the things that younger people like to do, especially when we talk about economic development and jobs. That's really a function of the economy we're in now. It's not just agriculture and manufacturing. A lot of it's tech, a lot of it's startup, a lot of it is co-working spaces. So how do we move the city in that direction? And then especially if you look at crime, most of the average age of homicide victims in the city for the past 28 years has been 26 years old. So when we talk about crime, we're talking about millennials. We're talking about people under the age of 35 who, for whatever reason, make bad choices, but also are part of an opportunity structure that causes them to oftentimes make choices that lead to rampant crime that we struggle with.
Okay. If you had to pick one reason why people should work to save Stockton, what would it be?
I think I said this in the speech, but Stockton's situation is not necessarily an act of God. It's not by providence. It's not destined for Stockton to have the challenges it has, which is hopeful for me because that means if we work, we can make it better. Working is not futile. Trying to make changes is not futile. That we can make it better.
You've gotten a lot of attention from the media all across the United States since your return from Stanford, including the New York Times. Can you discuss the importance of positivity in the media, and especially in places like Stockton?
Well, the media, Malcolm X once said the media is the most powerful force in the world. It can make the guilty innocent and the innocent guilty. In the same way, the media has a way of shaping kind of people's views of cities and places. Because oftentimes, there's a TED talk about the danger of a single story or the danger of a single narrative. And if a narrative is repeated over and over again, whether it's true or partially true or not, people begin to believe that and internalize it because the news is accepted as authority. So it's very important for the whole truth of Stockton to be told. So that Stockton does have challenges, but there are opportunities. There's great people, there's great food, and there's great community. So I think it's very important to use media to share the whole story of Stockton, so it's not just one of crime and bankruptcy.
Finally, when you feel discouraged, or if you feel discouraged about your mission to reinvent Stockton, what keeps you on track and working hard?
Several things. A lot of prayer, a lot of reading the Bible definitely helps. And also just really thinking about that, because part of it is that if I decide to give up, I could pack up and move somewhere, make a whole lot of money maybe, and be fine. But the people I work with and serve, they really can't get up and leave Stockton. They're not leaving. They can't leave. The least of these are the most underserved among us. They're here, and that's what keeps me going. Because if they can wake up despite literally still hearing gunshots every night, or burying their kids, or looking for jobs and it being futile, then who am I not to get up and try to fight with and for these people? So that's what gets me going. Meetings are hard. Being yelled at is hard. Being lied about is hard, but not eating, sleeping outside, not being able to get a job, I would argue that's way harder. So if that's all it takes for me to do my part to help people reach their full potential, that's not a problem.
All right, that's it. Thank
you. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
It's okay.